What was that? A stray radio signal? Your own mind playing tricks on you? Or was it something else? Those are the exact questions that kickstart any real paranormal investigation. This isn't about jumping at shadows, it's about methodically finding the light switch. This is your first step into a world where history and technology collide to explain the unexplainable. Welcome to the unseen world.
They say in the heart of Virginia's Shenandoah Valley, there's a town where the past is anything but dead. And a town with a haunted clock tower, a tragic train depot, and cemeteries where the residents don't always rest in peace. They call it the Queen City of the Valley, but many know it today as one of Virginia's most haunted towns. And its beautiful Victorian architecture seems to hold the energy of a past steeped in Civil War history. And while many of its historic buildings survived the Civil War, the city didn't escape entirely. Union General David Hunter's raid in 1864 destroyed key infrastructure like the train stations and warehouses, leaving scars that some believe have never fully faded. And today, we're taking a walking tour of downtown Stanton to uncover the chilling history and ghostly encounters that make this a paranormal hotspot. We're going to dig into the local lore and documented investigations to understand why so many spirits seem to have unfinished business here. Our first stop is just up the street, a landmark that looms over the city, where the time it keeps is a timeless witness of the chilling events that have unfolded below its face and within its walls. This is the Stanton Clock Tower. It's one of the most recognizable landmarks in the city, but behind the charming facade is a reputation for being one of the most haunted spots in the Shenandoah Valley. The building was constructed around 1890 and originally housed the local YMCA. Now, over the years, it's been home to everything from a department store to its current use as a restaurant, bar, and apartments. And it seems with every new chapter, the ghostly legends only get stronger. Local paranormal investigators, especially the team at Black Raven Paranormal, have spent a lot of time studying this location. For years, people in the upstairs apartments and staff at the restaurant have reported a series of baffling and frankly terrifying experiences. One of the most persistent stories involves the disembodied cries of a child. Tenants claim they've been woken up late at night by the sound of a young child weeping on the central staircase. And when they go to look, the staircase is empty and silent. Restaurant staff have also said they've heard the distinct voice of a little girl coming from off-limits areas after closing, in places no child could possibly be. The story of the little girl is a piece of a bigger puzzle. An unconfirmed legend suggests the young girl died tragically in 1912 after falling down a coal chute in the building's early days. And while historical records to prove this are hard to come by, the sheer volume of audio evidence that investigators claim to have collected is staggering. During multiple investigations, Black Raven Paranormal says they captured intelligent electronic voice phenomena, or EVPs. And in one chilling audio clip from their Amazon Prime series, an investigator asked a question into the darkness, and the faint, unmistakable voice of a young girl seems to answer no. And almost immediately after, a gruff older male voice is apparently recorded asking, "Hear what?" And this suggests at least two different entities might be sharing the space. But the activity isn't just sounds. The building has a history of security alarms going off for no reason, leading to police responses, only for them to find the building completely sealed with no sign of entry. And maybe the most unnerving thing? Security cameras have on at least two separate occasions reportedly captured what looks like a semi-transparent shadow man moving with unnatural speed through the dining room. And the owners themselves have shared stories of strange events, like wine glasses wobbling in their racks before falling and shattering on the floor completely untouched. And it's a place where modern tech and personal experiences seem to agree, painting a picture of a location saturated with paranormal energy. And the question isn't just if the clock tower is haunted, but by who, and why are they still here? Now for our next stop just down the street, a place where Gilded Age luxury was forced to confront the grim realities of war. This is the American Hotel. Built in 1855, it was once considered one of the most luxurious hotels in the country, a haven for travelers arriving on the Virginia Central Railroad. But its golden era was cut short. With the outbreak of the Civil War, the hotel was converted into a military hospital, primarily for sick and wounded Confederate soldiers. Imagine it, a place built for comfort suddenly filled with the sounds of suffering, of amputations without modern medicine, of young men dying far from home. And many believe this intense shift in energy is the root of its haunting. After the war, the building struggled, and today it serves as a reception hall and office spaces. But staff will tell you that they aren't always alone. They report hearing disembodied voices and footsteps in empty halls. And shadowy figures are supposedly seen on the upper levels, and electronics tend to glitch without any explanation. And the most intense activity, according to reports, happens in the building's basement. The local tradition holds that during the war, this space was used as the hospital's morgue. Staff and investigators from groups like Ghosts of Stanton have described it as the epicenter of the hotel's paranormal phenomena. And it's down here that the voices of children are sometimes heard, though their connection to the hotel's history isn't clear. It's also where spirit box sessions, a technique using scanning radio frequencies to capture spirit voices, have allegedly produced responses from male ghosts believed to be soldiers who died within these walls. And the American Hotel stands as a monument to its layered past, a place where the echoes of wartime trauma seem to linger, trapped in the very fabric of the building. Directly across from the American Hotel is the final piece of this downtown paranormal triangle, the Stanton Train Depot. This station is a known hub for restless spirits, and for good reason. The structure you see today is actually the third one on this site. The first was burned by Union troops under General David Hunter in 1864. The second was destroyed in a catastrophic train derailment in 1890, and the current station was built in 1902. This ground is soaked in a history of fire, war, and tragedy, making it a place where thousands came and went, but some, it said, never truly left. The local lore has identified several spirits believed to haunt the station. The most famous is a 17-year-old opera singer named Myrtle Ruth Knox. The story goes that in 1890, the Cincinnati-bound express train she was on lost control in the steep grade coming into town and derailed. And legend says Myrtle was the only one killed in the wreck. Now, her spirit is now said to wander the platform, sometimes seen in a white nightgown. Female travelers with long hair have even reported the strange feeling of someone tugging on their hair, an act often blamed on the young singer's ghost. Another prominent figure in the local ghost stories is D.C. McClure, a Confederate soldier from Arkansas. And as the legend goes, in 1861, he was intoxicated, wandered onto the tracks, and was struck and killed by a train. And his apparition is reportedly seen stumbling along the tracks still in his uniform, a residual echo of his final moments. Investigators from Black Raven Paranormal, who have researched this area for years and offer a haunted depot tour, report this might be the most active spot in the entire city. Using spirit boxes, they claim to have captured numerous EVPs and have documented strange lights and shadows moving around the platform. And the depot is a powerful reminder of how a single location can become a focal point for multiple tragedies, creating a potent mix of spiritual energy that continues to make its presence known. For our final stop, we're moving from the heart of the city to its silent, solemn edge. A tour of Stanton's hauntings wouldn't be complete without visiting the places where its departed are meant to rest. Thorn Rose Cemetery has been Stanton's main burial ground since it was established in 1849. And in the daylight, it's considered one of the most beautiful cemeteries in the country. But as dusk falls, its beauty takes on a much eerier feeling. The cemetery's most prominent feature is a 22-foot marble statue of a Confederate infantryman. This monument marks a mass grave holding about 1,700 soldiers who died on nearby battlefields and were brought to Stanton's hospitals. And with so much trauma concentrated in one spot, it's no surprise that Thorn Rose is a paranormal landmark. Ghost tour operators and local residents say that countless spirits remain here. And visitors have reported seeing shadowy figures in Confederate uniforms marching among the graves. And on quiet nights, some claim to hear the lonely, mournful sound of a bugle playing taps. But perhaps the most famous spirit here is the woman in white. Many believe this spectral figure is the ghost of Myrtle Ruth Knox, the young opera singer killed in the 1890 train wreck. While her ghost is often seen at the depot where she died, this cemetery is where she was laid to rest. Her tragic story connects two of Stanton's most haunted locations. Here she is sometimes seen as a weeping figure wandering among the graves, forever tied to the town by her untimely death. While Thornrose is the largest, it isn't alone. The older Trinity Church Cemetery, with graves dating back to the 18th century, is also said to be haunted by figures from the town's colonial past. These cemeteries are where the stories of Stanton all lead, to the silent stones that mark where the bodies lie, even if the spirits themselves have refused to stay put. Stanton is a city where history isn't just in the past. It feels like a living, breathing, and some would say haunting presence. From the phantom cries in the clock tower to the spectral soldiers at the American Hotel, the tragic singer at the train depot, and the restless souls in the cemeteries, these stories are woven into the very fabric of the town. And local investigators and tour guides work to keep these accounts alive, blending history and paranormal investigation to explore the unexplained. And we've walked the streets and we've heard the history and we've listened to the chilling tales. So what do you think? Are these just stories carried on the wind, or are they genuine echoes of a turbulent past? Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever had a paranormal experience in Stanton or any other historic town? I'd love to hear about it. And thanks for joining me on this journey through one of Virginia's most haunted cities. If you enjoyed this dive into the paranormal, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more haunted history, and ring that bell so you don't miss our next investigation. And until next time, stay curious. And thank you all for listening.
What is an EVP? It stands for Electronic Voice Phenomenon, unexplained voices captured on audio devices. They're often not heard in the moment but appear during playback. Some believe they are voices from spirits.
A shadow person is an unexplained figure people sometimes see out of the corner of their eye or standing in dimly lit places like this. It's usually darker than the surrounding darkness, shaped like a human but without features.
The Shenandoah Valley, and it's a place of breathtaking beauty carved into the heart of Virginia. For generations, its landscape was a source of life, but its strategic location also made it a prized corridor. During the American Civil War, this peaceful valley turned into a theater of brutal warfare. We know the history, the battles, and the generals. But what if the story doesn't end there? What if the thousands of soldiers who fought and died on this soil never really left? What if on a quiet night you can still hear the echoes of a war that ended over a century and a half ago? Today we're investigating the paranormal case files of the Shenandoah Valley, where some say history is so raw it refuses to die. To understand why the Shenandoah Valley is so haunted, you have to understand its bloody importance. Pointing towards Washington, D.C., the valley was a vital corridor in the granary of the Confederacy, feeding the Southern war machine. This made it a place to be fought for, over and over again. And towns like Winchester reportedly changed hands more than 70 times during the war. And this constant state of conflict saturated the land with suffering. The homes and churches became makeshift hospitals, and thousands were laid to rest in unmarked graves. And it's from this soil, soaked in sorrow, that chilling ghost stories of the Shenandoah Valley have grown. Our first case file opens on September 19, 1864 at the Third Battle of Winchester. It was the largest and costliest battle in the Shenandoah Valley, resulting in over 8,600 casualties in a single day of savage combat. And the sheer scale of the slaughter seems to have left a scar on the land itself. And today, visitors report that the silence is broken by phantom musket fire and the distant boom of cannons. And some hear the faint sounds of unseen soldiers, while others see shadowy figures moving through the trees only to vanish. And it's as if the battle is replaying itself. In the nearby Mount Hebron Cemetery lies the Stonewall Confederate Cemetery, the final resting place for about 2,575 Confederate soldiers, many of them unknown. Visitors report an overwhelming feeling of sadness and apparitions of soldiers standing silently among the gravestones. One poignant legend tells of Colonel George S. Patton, grandfather of the famous World War II general, who was mortally wounded at the battle, and his worried apparition is said to peer from the windows of the downtown building where he died. The experiences reported at places like Winchester raise a chilling question. Are these just tricks of the mind, or could they be genuine echoes of the past? And if you've ever visited a historic site and felt something you couldn't explain, tell us about your experience in the comments. And if you're drawn to those unsolved mysteries where history and the paranormal collide, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Our next case file centers on one of the oldest operating inns in America, the Wayside Inn in Middletown, Virginia. Established in 1797, its long history meant it was an unwilling witness to the Civil War. And due to its location, it was used as a hospital and headquarters by both Union and Confederate forces at different times. And with so much suffering within its walls, it's no surprise that the soldier's ghost is among the reported hauntings. And guests and staff have seen a man in a military uniform wandering the hallways, especially in the early morning hours. And there are even frequent reports of hearing heavy boots clomping down the corridors when no one is there. One story holds that the ghost is that of an Irish soldier. While the famous Irish Brigades fought for the Union, many Irish immigrants also served in the Confederate Army. And during a paranormal investigation I did there over a decade ago, I was running a spirit box session and announced, "I'm going to set up my gear so y'all can talk." And over the noise of the box, a clear disembodied voice with a distinct Irish brogue was captured replying, "You're doing that, ain't you?" Our final case file concerns the campaign that decisively ended the war in the Shenandoah Valley. In the autumn of 1864, Union General Philip Sheridan was ordered to neutralize the valley. And his forces engaged in the scorched earth campaign known as the Burning, systematically destroying barns, mills, and crops. And this act of hard war left a legacy of ruin in local folklore filled with the tales of phantom flames and weeping figures. The campaign climaxed on October 19, 1864 at the Battle of Cedar Creek. A daring Confederate surprise attack was ultimately crushed by a massive Union counterattack, but at a staggering cost, with total casualties estimated to be over 8,000 soldiers. And in the days that followed, locals began to report unexplainable events. The lore holds that an Episcopal church used as a field hospital became a center of paranormal activity, with claims of disembodied groans and footsteps at night. And on the battlefield, people have reported seeing apparitions in their barns and hearing the thunder of hooves when no horses are present. Perhaps most strangely, multiple witnesses over the years have reported hearing the distant sound of a military band striking up a tune before abruptly falling silent. From the phantom armies of Winchester to the lonely soldier pacing the halls of an old inn, the Shenandoah Valley holds its ghost close. The sheer violence and deep wounds inflicted upon the land created what many believe are the perfect conditions for history to leave more than just a memory. And the stories passed down through generations and the chilling encounters reported to this day all speak to a powerful lingering presence. And they suggest that on these hallowed grounds the past isn't really past. It waits in the silent cemeteries, it marches across the misty battlefields, and it whispers in the empty hallways of old homes and inns. And the Civil War in the Shenandoah Valley may have ended in 1865, but for the spirits said to remain, the battle may never be over.